What? I'm not going. How about that? It's disgusting. That is so evil of a mother. Why though? Hey guys, long time no see. I know I've been posting a lot of vlogs recently. Honestly, my content is mainly vlogs, makeup, and sometimes we'll do a mukbang, sometimes we'll do a fun little challenge with family, but it's mostly vlogs and definitely makeup. I stepped away from makeup because my skin was doing a little bit too much. Towards the mid 2025, it was doing too much, so I kind of just took a step back from makeup and until my face cleared up a little bit better. We're in a better position now, and I have invested in some acne safe makeup products, which I will be sharing with you guys in another video. So yeah, but today's video is going to be a makeup get ready with me, and we're also going to be reading Reddit. We're gonna be reading Am I the A-hole? Because yeah, I just think it's so fun, and yeah, why not share my little opinion? Okay. Not my little, my opinion. Okay, so yeah, let's get into this video. Don't forget to like, to comment, and subscribe. I'm doing more makeup videos, and yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Leave some comments down below what kind of makeup looks you want to see me do, and what kind of videos do you guys want to see me do. Into the video. I'm going to be reading some prompts off of my iPad. I did download the app so that, you know, it'll be easy access for us to find some. I did not pick any in advance because I want it to be like my genuine reaction. I already prepped my face. I washed it and moisturized it and put my sunscreen on. Now we are going to put some primer on. Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Silk one, but I feel like I like the more hydrating primers. So let me see if I can find something similar to this that's like not gonna trigger acne. Okay, get it down our neck. Okay, so let's get into it. Yeah, all right, let's cook. So it has to wait a little bit, so that is like perfect to do while we are reading. Still. And if I'm looking back at my mirror. See in this little camera setup. Okay, you don't want that little impurity right there, cause girl. Anyway, so we're gonna let that sit for a little bit, and we're gonna get into one of them. So this one was from 5 months ago. It says, am I the a-hole for cutting my sister off after her wedding? Okay, it says, I apologize, female 31. I'm autistic and dyslexic. Hi, lovely. I want to start this off when you read this. Either the event has happened or it is going to happen, seeing as September is when the event is supposedly supposed to go down. So my sister is getting married this year. Her and her fiance, both older, in their early 30s. Let's call them Fifi and Bruno. Okay, Fifi and Bruno. Okay, they have been together for 13 years and now finally decided that this year they were going to get married. The day that they picked was on our father's and sister's birthday. That's crazy. Okay, a little weird to pick the date on that day. Why would you want to celebrate your wedding anniversary on the same day as your father and your sister's birthday? But okay. Fifi is what we all like to call a control freak. She's made everything about her. On vacation, she's had to do everything with little to no time to rest. Family events, she had to help everyone, even going as far as to downplay my achievements. Girl, if I did well in something, she would say it was handed to me, which was not the case. I don't like that. It sounds like envy. My sister has been a parent my whole life. My bully, no one could compare to her. She sounds like a hater. Oh my gosh. Anyways, when she did something wrong, she would blame me instead. That's something sisters do sometimes, but the other stuff before definitely sounds like a hater. I thought when we got older, a lot of our childhood traumas and behaviors would disappear, but she hasn't changed. I tried my best. I gave 100% and my sister gave 10 on good days. I still held out hope. When my sister started planning her wedding, she told me I could invite a friend, which I thought was nice. On that note, about a year ago, I met my loving and adoring golden retriever boyfriend, Barry. Barry, male 28, is a sweet and lovable, everything I could ask for type of boyfriend. He makes me the happiest I've been in years, which makes the actions of my sister more apparent, more obvious than ever before. On to what we are all here for. At this point, I'm only a few weeks away from my sister's wedding as I write this. Many things have happened between them, but things that really have upset me are about my dress and the fact that I'm curvy and short, and she wants me to show up a few hours before the actual ceremony, even though I'm not a part of the bridal party at all. That request feels suspicious to me. I am an alt, I don't know what that means, alt, but girl, a thick curvy woman. So if you could give me the invitation, I showed her pictures of my dress. Pictures will be below, and I got the okay from Fifi herself. She said that as long as it's jewel tone colors and as long as I'm comfortable, she's good with it. So I brought the dress and it was good to go. A few months after the ultimately thumbs up from Fifi, she messaged out of the blue, which for her is normal. Months not hearing from Fifi is a wonderful thing, believe me. Okay. She started with normal, the trees are green, the sky is blue, how are you, BS. But then she went into the dress. She said that wearing black to the wedding means I'm mourning for her relationship, and that the slit in the dress would mean that I look slutty. Hater, what? I was not shocked, but I let her continue. She suggested I wear red. I told her if she's going on a traditional color palette for weddings, then red means that you are boinking the husband. Guess how fast she backed off that idea. Oh girl, this is so long. I'm gonna do a little bit of makeup right now because this is so long. I should have checked it. Next one we're doing a short one because girl, this is so long. So far, I'm sorry, like it seems like her sister is a bit envious of her. I think it's a little weird, like the blaming your sister for stuff when you were younger, okay, like all siblings did that, but like feeling like she's better than her, like bro, you're her sister, you shouldn't make her feel less than. And that's what it seems like she's trying to do to her, and I don't like that, especially as an older sister, right? It seems like she's the older sister. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Okay, that is just not okay. And then the whole dress thing, like why would you tell me it's okay for me to get this dress that I showed you, that I told you I wanted to get, and I showed you before I purchased it, asked you if it's okay for the wedding, and it goes with your colors that you told me that you wanted to do. Like why would you last minute basically be like, actually no, because like you're trying to mourn my relationship, or the slit is like slutty. Girl, what? You didn't say that before I bought it. Like why would you wait until last minute to tell me that I can't wear the dress? Like wedding attire is expensive, like, and she's not even a bridesmaid, so why does it matter, right? Like I feel like, yes, like okay, the color, the palette, cool, yes, like the guests should match the color in the palette, but if you're not a bridesmaid, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what you wear to the wedding, right? As long as you're following the color in the palette of the wedding, right? So far it's giving you're not the a-hole, your sister is the a-hole. That's what it's giving, like girl. And then the fact that the wedding is on your sister's and your brother's birthday, why would you want to share your wedding day with a family member's birthday? Like that is just like the weirdest thing to do. But let's get into it. Okay, she then suggested two of the most awful colors possible: mustard yellow or bubblegum pink. I don't think those are awful colors, but everyone's palette is different. Pink is not my color, sorry, and mustard yellow would wash out my pale vampire skin. There's her answer why. Even my boyfriend said that the choices are bad because he knows I don't go well with pink, and said even most men wouldn't want their cars to be mustard yellow. Anyways, I turned her down on both of those since I had already purchased the dress and she gave me the okay. Exactly. Okay. I'm glad you're saying that for yourself. I reassured her that it wouldn't be straight black, as there would be another color underneath, a beautiful maroon skirt, since I don't like showing my legs, and the split in the dress is high, like thigh high, and it is still keeping my dark side in her theme, but also having some color to it. Remember, this is all happening in September, so there will be no time to change out anything. Me and her went back and forth, and finally she gave up, or so I thought. Now, keep in mind, I'm not super skinny by any means. I'm very curvy. My sister came back a few weeks later and said you have to lose at least 100 pounds to 200 pounds before the wedding because I don't want people to think that you're pregnant. What? What? Who says that to their sibling? Like, why would you say that? So rude. Like, hello? Why would I have to lose weight for your wedding? Your wedding? My wedding, I understand. Like, if I want to fit into a certain type of dress for my wedding and I wanted to lose weight, okay, but for someone else's wedding, you're telling me I have to lose weight to go to your wedding? I'm not going. I'm not going. How about that? I'm not going. I don't want to be there. How about that? Celebrate your wedding without me, because why are you telling me that I need to lose weight to go to your wedding? And then she gives us a certain type of weight. She says 100 to 200 pounds. Are you kidding me? Oh, get out there, a-hole. Okay, let me finish. Let me finish. The ghetto, seriously. I don't know what is wrong with people. That is so not okay. I would never say that to anybody. First of all, you don't know if she likes her weight or not. Like, some people like their weight and some people don't. Like, she said she's thick. Like, at the end of the day, who are you to tell me what I need to weigh? Did I ask you? Like, what? I don't like that at all. Like, at all. That is so rude. At that point, I wouldn't be going. I really hope she doesn't end up going, but it seems like she does end up going. So, but no, at that point, you would not see me there at all. Because why would I go and support somebody who's being disrespectful and rude to me? Who's being, oh my God. She sounds like a hater, quite honestly. It's sad to have a hater who's your sibling. All right, let me finish reading. Guys, look how long this is. I told her that it was rude for her to ask and also impossible given how close we are to the date. And no, I love the way I am. Girl, yes. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, what if somebody loves their weight? Like, what if they love where they're at? How can you tell somebody that they need to lose weight when they're okay with it? Like, if you like being thick and you don't want to be skinny, who are you to tell me that I need to be skinny? Anyways. And then she asks like when it's like a couple weeks from the freaking wedding. Excuse me? What? Okay. Don't feel like I need to change myself to that degree. Exactly. Not to mention that Fifi had begun to send her bridesmaids after me like Blumhouse to get me onto doing what she wanted on both issues. One of them would call me Mizzy, was so drunk only the words were spelled properly. Okay, anyway. I told my boyfriend Barry and he started looking for a Walking Dead special bat for the occasion. I told him I appreciate him so much for this, my God of Thunder boyfriend, but this was my fight and him doing anything would make it worse. The final strike happened a few weeks later when on my day off, blissfully asleep at 5 in the morning, I woke up to a ringing phone. It was Fifi calling me so early that birds weren't even up. Shocker. She didn't even ask how I was or anything. She just started yelling, "You haven't RSVP'd yet?" Looking at the time and due to the fact that my brain struggled to see why this couldn't wait until the sun was up and I've had coffee, I answered, "What? Did not like this." She screamed, "You need to RSVP. You and Barry are coming to my wedding, right?" I sat up and told her nothing came into the mail for me to RSVP. She screamed, probably waking up her neighbor, "It's on the website I made." Yes, she made a flipping website for this. Confused, I opened the message and scrolled through the link she sent a month ago. I opened it while she was still screeching at me about the RSVP at 5 in the morning, and I found her RSVP section, filled it out, and then I asked her if she got it. She checked, and like night and day, her whole demeanor changed. Like a Girl Scout who sold her last box of cookies for the day. She gleed, confirmed, and then finally hung up. I sadly didn't go back to sleep that day. Thank you, Fifi-zilla. Can you see how much Fifi has become the biggest atomic bridezilla? Still, I don't want to start fights with her. I want to keep the peace, at least until her wedding. After her wedding, I am, as per instructed by my therapist, to cut her off from any contact. It breaks my heart to do this to her because she's my sister, my blood. I thought that me and her could at least coexist in each other's world as siblings, if not friends, at least civilly. But over the past few years, Fifi has only shown me how much I no longer even included in her world. I'm no longer included in her world or ever was, and how my existence caused her embarrassment. So I asked to all of you, sister out of my life after her wedding. I don't think I feel like if someone is definitely like hurting you, or if like they're not bringing any peace or joy to your life, I think it's okay to distance yourself from those type of people, because why would you stick around people who don't have the best interests for you? Why would you stick around people who want to see you fail, who are bullying you, who are making you feel less than? You don't want to hang around those people. So I think it's okay, whether it's family or blood, whatever, friends, whatever, like if they are messing with your peace, if they're not like bringing joy or happiness to your life, if they are causing you to think badly of yourself or whatever the case may be, like if they're not bringing any good in your life, then yes, I think it's okay. It's okay to love people from a distance. Because some people just don't deserve you. They don't deserve your presence. They don't deserve being in your space. So yeah, love them from a distance. If she ever apologizes or changes and you're like, you want to, you know, try again to like reestablish a relationship with her in the future, so be it. If that's something you want to do. But as of right now, I completely understand why, you know, your therapist is saying like this person is not good for you, and to like back off and to distance yourself. So no, you are not the a-hole. I'm so sorry it happened to you, girl. Yeah. Anyways, leave in the comments whether or not you agree with me about my opinions on whether or not the person is an a-hole or not. Okay. Am I the a-hole to ask my friend, single mother, to do a paternity test on her son because I have suspicions my husband is the father? That is such a weird, okay, thing. But let's see what it says. Messy, but I'll make this as short as possible. So one of my best friends had a kid 3 years ago. She said it was a one-night stand, and later the guy expressed no interest in being a dad, so she raised her son herself. No one has ever seen this guy, not even me. The issue is this kid looks extremely like my husband, like to an insane degree. The hair color, eyes, face, everything. He has been out with my friend and her son, and people have mistaken him to be the dad before. Needless to say, for years now, I've had my suspicion, but I haven't said anything. My husband is so close to my friend, and the timeline works out. We were all living in the same neighborhood around the time she got pregnant. Over the past year, it's really eaten at me. I see the resemblance growing more and more, and it doesn't help that my friend refuses to show me a picture of her son's biological father. No matter how much I asked, it kept spiraling until I had mentioned a meltdown and confronted both of them, saying that I will pick up and leave if I don't see a paternity test. Long story short, my friend got a paternity test and said that our friendship is over. The test said my husband isn't the father. I feel so ashamed to lose my friend, but I thought my husband would slightly understand since he sees obvious resemblance between them and this kid, but he has moved out for the time being, and I'm worried this is the end of our marriage. Am I the a-hole for insisting on the test? I honestly feel like I had no other choice. The resemblance was unavoidable, and it was eating away at me so much that no amount of therapy could help. I thought my husband could understand my fears most of all, given my history of past cheating exes. Did I F this up, and how badly? I think this having the suspicion doesn't make you, but you forcing your friend and your husband to do a paternity test, yeah, girl, you might be the a-hole. Because if they're telling you like no, like they've never like done anything with each other, and you know, because obviously like your friend would share that with you, right? Your friend will let you know if your husband was the person that she had a kid with, obviously, right? And also your partner would let you know too, right? And I also don't think like you're not obligated to see a picture of the person she had a one-night stand with. That's none of your business. If she doesn't want to share that with you, she doesn't have to share that with you, right? Like that is none of your concern. That is none of your business. She's not obligated to share that information with you. And the fact that you're like, oh, you're my friend, you should be able to show me, like, I don't think that's okay. And then you forcing them to do a paternity test because you have suspicions because they look alike. First of all, there are 7 lookalikes in the world. Second of all, you have no right to do that. I think that was screwed up. That was definitely messed up, and I think you are the a-hole. You're not the a-hole for having suspicions, but you are the a-hole for forcing them to do a paternity test when they're telling you that they didn't. I feel like as a friend, I would have told you, oh, by the way, that's the person, you know? Like, I would have told you. Like, it just doesn't make any sense for me not to tell you. So I just think, yeah, you went too far with that, girl. That was a little too much. A little too much. You went way too far with that one. Oh, okay. Am I the a-hole for kicking my mother out of my wedding after she brought my ex as her +1? So far, I'm just like, at your wedding? Wait, well, let me read it first. I am male, 30, started seeing June, female, 29. about 3 years ago. My mother has never really liked June for a couple of reasons. The main one being the fact that June didn't let my mom push her around. She kept firm boundaries, which I really admired, and she even helped me do the same. My mom hated this, calling June controlling and wishing I hadn't broke up with my previous girlfriend Margot, who my mom loved. I was with Margot for 5 years and it was horrible. Margot was very controlling and manipulative and always guilted me into things I wasn't comfortable with. You have every right to leave Margot, because no, you should not be with someone who's manipulating you, controlling you, and trying to change who you are. No. Hello? And your mom should understand that, okay? But thanks to support from friends and my sister, I was able to leave her, as you should. It was hard, but I had help, and my life has improved since. My mom was very upset with this, but relationships didn't last, so she eventually let go until I started dating June about a year later. When June and I announced our engagement, Mom didn't freak out, which was weird considering my mom hates June. She was very calm, but I just took it as she was finally accepting this, and so I didn't think much of it, okay? Everything was fine and smooth until the wedding. I gave both my parents +1s to the wedding since they both remarried after I graduated. I'm not close to their spouses, but gave them the option of inviting them. We had a very small ceremony, just immediate family and a few close friends. After the ceremony, me and June went to take pictures and then met with everyone we invited to the reception, which was pretty big. When we got there, my sister and June's best friend, maid of honor, ran up to us in a panic. Before they even said anything, I spotted it. My mom was at the table with my dad, my dad's wife, and Margot. That is so... Wait, I can't even think of the word. That... spiteful. Like, that's so spiteful. That is so screwed up. Why would you bring his ex that like literally was hurting your son? This girl was controlling and manipulative, and he had a terrible like relationship with this girl. Why would you bring her to his wedding where he's committing to this new woman in his life and he's starting new beginnings with this new person? Why would you bring someone old to his new beginnings and someone that he doesn't like? Someone that he doesn't like or have a good relationship with. Like, I would understand if it was like an ex that, you know, they were still friends or whatever. Like, okay, cool. But these people are not friends. These people, like, he literally said it was hard getting out of this relationship with this girl because she was so controlling and so manipulative. Why would you bring someone like that to something so special to him? Like, that doesn't make... Okay. That is just disgusting. That is so evil of a mother. I wanted to freak out, but June kept me calm. I walked over, pulled them both aside, and simply asked them to leave, as you should. My mom tried to explain Margot and I are soulmates on your wedding day. What? Girl, get out of here. June isn't the way of true love. How would you know that? You can't tell me who is my true love. You can't tell me who I should marry. You can't tell me who I can and can't be with. You are not in charge of that. Just because you like somebody doesn't mean I have to like them. I did not have a relationship with this girl, so why would I marry this girl? I'm marrying someone that I love and I have a good relationship with. Make it make sense. Anyways, but I wasn't hearing it. I didn't care. Just got my best friends to escort them out, and I returned to the party, where luckily after a few moments I was able to relax and enjoy it. I really didn't think this would all turn into something huge. Just got back from our honeymoon where we didn't have our phones, and seeing mine, I saw hundreds of messages from multiple family members. Okay, they all think I was a-hole for kicking my mom out of her own son's wedding. You are not the a-hole. You are not the a-hole, because when she disrespected you at your wedding. She told you after you married the girl that you wanted to marry that she was the wrong person and you should marry Margot, which he knows, and your friends also know, and I'm pretty sure some of your family knows, that Margot was very controlling and manipulative. So why would your mom that is supposed to love and care for you bring somebody who has hurt you in your past to your wedding and then try to tell you who you should marry and who you should not marry? I think it's okay for you to kick her out. I would have kicked her out too. First of all, this is my day. This is my wedding. You are not about to ruin my day and my wedding and my new beginnings because you're selfish. Because you're selfish and you're controlling. In fact, it sounds like your mom is controlling. Maybe that's why she likes Margot, because she's just as controlling and manipulative as Margot. Maybe that's why they get along and kiki so well, okay? No, you're not wrong for that. And your family members should mind their business. Honestly, don't even care what they say. Block them, because why Why are you defending this woman and her dumb actions? Her rude, selfish actions. No. The record, she was there for the ceremony, but apparently was really upset. She was kicked out from the reception. Here's a summary of my friend's thoughts. So I think I could have just ignored Margot and didn't have to freak out. No, I don't want this person here. Why is this person here? It's my wedding. I only want people that I want there, that make me happy there. I don't care. This person needs to go. No, she needs to go. And the person who brung her needs to go too. What? And a few others, including my dad, think I should have kicked Margot out and let my mom say, no, your mom brung Margot. What the hell? No. But after the stunt my mom pulled, I didn't want her there either. As it should be. I started to second guess myself since everyone is really mad. June and my sister are on my side, but I fear my dad may be right and I should have let my mom stay and made Marco leave. I've come to Reddit. I'm at it. You are not the ill. You are not the ill. Because she brung her. Why would she do that? She was doing that to be spiteful. She was doing that to be controlling. That's why they get along so well, because they are similar. They're both controlling and they're both manipulative. So rude and so disrespectful. And I think it's okay for you to tell her to go because you're ruining my moment. For what? She could have just showed up without Margot and a regular guest and been a good mom and celebrated your new beginnings and your special moments and been upset at home. Because girl, it doesn't matter if you like June or not. June is my wife, period. Deal with it. People are so weird. I have all the creams on. I'm gonna spray my face with the one size. Oh, every time I spray this, I'm like, breathe. It says long story short, I broke up with my ex in 2023 March. She said she didn't want to tell anyone right away yet and wait till she's comfy enough to disclose. I said fine, and yet slowly everyone started finding out through her. My parents were the last to know. My mom was slightly upset, but she even said she didn't even expect us to last, being that was my first relationship. Fast forward, I have a new partner. My sister wanted us to come to her soccer game, and we went. I saw my ex went there. Specifically, my brother picked her up to drive her there. Okay? My new partner thought it was a bit weird, and I understood where she was coming from, being the fact that my ex never had any type of extensive relationship with my family. Yeah. I spoke with my mom about this, and she basically dismissed how I felt and said, unless she did something drastically messed up to you, she's going to continue to bring her around for holidays and birthdays. Why, though? Okay. I attempted to talk to my mom multiple times about this, and she called me over dramatic and said I'm asking too much of her. I told her that it even made me uncomfortable, especially because I do have a new partner and this will give them time to get to know her. They didn't agree and called my partner insecure on top of everything. First of all, if I tell you, as my family, if I tell you that I'm uncomfortable with my ex being around, I'm uncomfortable with my ex being around, and I don't think you should invite them to places where I am. You should not invite them to places where I am because I expressed to you that I'm uncomfortable. And as my family, you should be understanding. And also, in this story, it says, he says that they didn't have an extensive relationship, right? So why all of a sudden are you guys close? And even if that's the case, even if you guys are close and you're cool with her and you really like this girl, we're not together anymore. And I told you that I'm uncomfortable with you doing this. And I don't care if you think it's over dramatic. I don't care, whatever the case may be. If I'm telling you I'm comfortable with something, I'm uncomfortable with something. And I feel like as my family, you shouldn't want me to feel uncomfortable. That's messed up, that they try to downplay your feelings and dismiss them. The last talk, I haven't spoken to my mother. My brother and stepdad has reached out to me and basically said I need to be the bigger person and apologize to my mom because one day she won't be in this world anymore and she's constantly sad and feels like she did something wrong, but she's stubborn and won't reach out to me. For extra context, I'm 24 and my mother is 48. So at least we know she feels like she did wrong. I think she shouldn't, it doesn't matter if she's stubborn. I think she should be the one to apologize. But I think it's sometimes okay to be the bigger person if you want to restore this relationship, and it wasn't that serious and you feel like she actually is going to apologize and she's not going to do this again, or you make it clear that she doesn't do it again when you talk to her, then I think it's fine for you to be the bigger person. Honestly, I think it's always okay to be the bigger person until like people start abusing it, right? Like if she does this, if she continues to do this routinely, then I'm like, okay, like no, just leave it alone. But if this was like the first time she's done something like this, and you know, you can tell that she feels sorry, and she's, you know, and you are sure that she's not going to do it again when you talk to her about it, then I think it's okay for you to be the bigger person. I'm always for being the bigger person until people abuse it. I don't think you're the a-hole. You really didn't do nothing wrong. You just expressed that you were uncomfortable with what was going on, and you have every right to express that. And how other people react to you, that's none of your business. But I feel like as your family, they should have been understanding, especially because they're your family, not this girl's. You know, like they only know her because of you. Add some concealer to these areas. We're gonna let it sit for a little bit while we read the letter one too. I'm gonna dot the letter one as well. And let me know if you enjoy this video, and let me know if you want to see more of these, because this is so fun for me. This one is, am I the a-hole for calling 911 on my 2-year-old neighbor? So let's start off. Called 911 because the 2-year-old was running around an apartment complex parking lot in a diaper, and only a diaper and socks alone. I called 911 out of what else to do, but regardless, I feel guilty and kind of like an a-hole for it. To start off, I live in an apartment complex where the parking lot is a giant circle around the apartment building that are in a circle. People constantly try to fly through here sometimes, and for December. I know kids are home on break right now. I work night shift, and this was 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I got up and took my dog out to go outside, but before I did, I heard kid noises, and I couldn't tell what it was. But again, new kids were home, and not first time I've seen them out playing. I think nothing of it and take my dog out, see no kids. She goes and does her business and turns around and goes back inside. As I do, I hear the same noises and turn around to see a little 2-year-old. That's crazy. By themselves is crazy. He had no clothes on besides socks and a diaper. Again, it's middle of December. That is not okay. That is not okay. Where are the parents? I immediately was confused and looked around. No signs of parents. It was not the first time I've seen kids like this, but usually there have been a parent nearby, and even if I didn't agree. For a kid to be running around naked with a diaper on and socks in December in the cold, that is sad. And the fact that you see no parents, I think that is call for concern. It's my job to tell someone how to parent, especially not having ever had kids myself. Again, though, no parents this time, and in the middle of the road. Something told me to take a picture, so I did. I rushed my dog in and I leashed her. Text, I live with my stepdad, mom, and sister due to money right now. Student debt, yay. Sarcasm. I look at my stepdad and tell him how there was a baby in the parking lot alone. He was just as confused as me, and we both rush back outside. We see the kid and some gentlemen walk up following. I asked if he knew the kid, and he shook his head and told us no. He said he saw him running around and got concerned, following to make sure the kid was okay. The kid kept running around, and the gentleman followed. I looked at my stepdad and said, I'm calling 911, and I did. I gave my location and ran back up to catch the kid, as did the gentleman and older man joined me in too. He didn't know the kid either, so we all were confused. The older man wrapped his jacket around the kid and picked him up. We stayed on the phone with 911 waiting for the cops to arrive. The older man said he was about to call before he realized I already did and was on the phone with them. Cops show up, gave the kid to the officers, and I stayed back. People all came out, found what unit the kid is in. Turns out same building as me, but above into the back. I stay around and walk back up to the cops. They were talking to the older man. I backed up and let them. I told the officer I did have pictures of the child alone in the parking lot. He had an email to himself, took my information, and I went back inside till I went back out to grab something from my car. I felt bad as I saw the mom show up, and she said she had just left and was around the corner. 2 other residents told me they'd rather be safe than sorry too. Exactly. Because girl, what? Why would you leave your 2-year-old? What? And don't blame me for calling 911, but I also still feel bad and guilty, potentially wasting police resources, causing a scene, and creating distress, or especially if the mom was truly around the corner. Maybe she was just about to get back. Why would you leave your 2-year-old? I don't know. They said, I don't know. But I still feel he said, dickish, okay? And don't want to be a Karen about kids when I don't have any myself. I did learn the other two kids the mom also had been watching him. Where were they watching him? He had gotten out and the two kids didn't realize, so they weren't watching him. What? They were supposed to be watching him, but they weren't watching him and he got out. That isn't, I would have done the same thing. You don't see any parents around. You don't see anyone around him who's older to be watching him and he has no clothes. It's okay for you to call the cops because you're worried and you don't even know whose child this is. Like, I don't think you're Karen. I don't think you're being a D. Okay. Well, this seems to be a preteen at max. I hope I didn't get them in giant trouble either. So Reddit am at a-hole. No, you're not. You're absolutely not. I would have done the same thing if I seen a 2-year-old with no clothes strolling around in a parking lot alone with no parental supervision and no supervision, period. Like, I would have done the same thing. And it seems like it's been for a minute because you were walking your dog, right? You heard the child before you went outside. Then while you were walking your dog, and even after you went back in the house with your dog, that child was still walking around practically naked in the wintertime by itself. You have every right to be concerned and to call the police because you're worried about the child's safety. That kid could have got hit by a car. That kid could have been kidnapped. That kid could have hurt itself. It's completely okay for you to be concerned and to reach out. Especially, it would have been different if you knew the parent of the child and like you went to the home and like, oh my gosh, your son is outside. That's different, but you didn't even know whose child it was. So I think it was completely okay for you to do that. You were not the a-hole. I feel like I would have done the same. We gotta run some out though. Powders. Blend this. Oh, this one's like really short. Okay. Am I the a-hole for losing feelings for my boyfriend? Never posted on Reddit before. Sorry if this is not the best. Me, 18-year-old female, and my boyfriend, 18-year-old male, have been together for a little over 2 months, and lately everything he has been doing has been giving me the ick and annoying me, and I'm not sure why. He has done nothing wrong. I just think I'm losing feelings for him. He is still very in love with me, and I don't know if I should break things off or not. It's been a few weeks that I've been feeling like this, and I've been trying to stop feeling like this, but I can't. What should I do, and am I the a-hole? I also forgot to mention that he is in my friend group, and even his best friend thinks we're so cute together, and I'm afraid if I break up, it will ruin my friendship with other people. I think, to be fair to him and to be fair to yourself, I think you should be honest with him about what you're feeling, because you can't force yourself to like somebody, right? So if you don't feel this way about him that you used to feel about him, because honestly, maybe it was just lust, right? Like, sometimes it could be just lust, or right, like you didn't know enough information, because like you said, it was a couple months, right, that you guys have been dating. So in that time, you're learning more about this person, and it's not just when you first meet each other and it's just like, oh, like I really like this person, and like, because you don't know much information about them. You only know what you've seen. You haven't been around them long enough to like see their habits or their ways. And I think once you start to see them, you either start to lose interest or you don't like them. And I also think that love is a choice, right? But I feel like you shouldn't force something, right? If you feel like you don't like them anymore or you don't love them anymore, I think it's totally okay to express how you're feeling and to make them aware, because I don't think it's fair to them to be sticking around and with someone who doesn't love them, right? Let him free and give him the opportunity to find someone else he can, match that energy with, right? And same thing for you. Like, you have to give yourself to find somebody that you can match your energy with, right? You guys are also very young, and I think it's okay to fall to love. That happens sometimes. You were just interested in him. He was just interested in you, and you got to know him more, and as you got to know him more, you started to see things that you don't like, and it affected how you felt about him. Make that aware. And I think it's better to let things go than to fake something that's not actually there, No, you're not the a-hole for falling out of love. you would be the a-hole for sticking around and making him believe that you still care in that way. I just think you should just be honest. That's always the best policy, honesty. Let him know how you feel. And it doesn't matter how he reacts to it. He might not be happy with it, especially if he really cares about you. You probably don't want to hurt his feelings. But at the end of the day, it's what's best for you, and it's also what's best for him, even if he doesn't see it initially. I found it summer Friday. I'm the a-hole for telling my youngest brother he is not gay when he tried to come out. To unpack here, so I will be brief. I, male, 54, am an elder sibling in my family, and I'm gay. I've been all my life and have never had any desire for women. Growing up, except me, it was painful, and being true to myself cost me a lot. And it didn't help that it was the 80s and 90s, even though things were starting to get better. My youngest brother, male 45, has always kind of idolized me, even when I was estranged from my family. For further context, he has a severe problem with alcoholism, and his marriage to his wife has been functionally dead for about a decade, even though they are still together. So I don't know if he thought it was something that he could bond over or what, but a few months ago he came out to me as gay. I tried to be considerate and respectful, but ultimately after listening to him, I told him he wasn't, and that he was a severe alcoholic who makes poor decisions when he is drunk in the morning. The main reason for this is that he has no desire to leave his wife. He doesn't have romantic feelings towards men. He just has with them occasionally when he is drunk. And he still uses phrases like the F word and the C word towards people he doesn't like. Maybe I'm oversimplifying, but it really just seems to me to actually be about the fact that he and his wife don't have stuff anymore, and men are often more available than women at times. I really hate it when people act as a gatekeeper to certain communities, and I would hate to think that maybe I said these things to him because he didn't have to pay the same price I paid. But to me, the essential aspect of being gay is not that you have with men, but you are able to fall in love with them and maybe build a life together. He does not have any of those qualities. Am I the a-hole? So before I read his, because he did edit later, I want to say that maybe he's bi. You know, maybe he likes girls and men, right? Maybe he's fluid. Maybe he has interests in women and men, right? So, like, you can't really tell somebody what they are. I feel like in this instance, you kind of are, because you really can't tell people what they are. Like, people, you know what you are, right? I think if you're a man and you're willing to do things with a man, I feel like, yeah, you kind of are, you know, or at least bisexual. Because, like, okay, for example, I love girls, you know, I would never date a girl, but I love girls. I think they're beautiful. I'm beautiful, you know, I think they're pretty, but I don't think I like girls. I could never date a girl. I can never do those things with a girl. The reason why is because I feel like I can never foster a relationship with them, and I also feel like I could never do those things with a girl, you know. So that's how I know. But if he's willing to do those things with a guy, I think that means that he's interested in them. Because if, like, you wouldn't do those things if you're not interested, right? If you're not attracted, right? Because I think it goes off based off what you're attracted to. It's not just about whether or not you see a relationship with someone or not. Because most of the time, before you even see the relationship, you're attracted to that person, right? So if he's attracted to men, then he could be gay, or he could be bisexual. And I feel like just because you are gay, it doesn't mean that you get to decide who gets to be. But again, I'm not gonna say too much because I'm also not okay. I'm an ally. So I can't really. But I feel like you can't. I don't think you get to decide whether or not someone else is what they identify as, you know? Like, I just feel like it's not fair to them. I don't want to say too much because, again, I'm not really a part of that community. I'm an ally with the community. But I think as a person, you can't tell another person who they are and who they choose to identify with or as. I feel like you should respect their choice. You know what I mean? Because, again, I was gonna say, like, it's not a monolith. That's what it is. It's not a monolith. It's a spectrum, right? So, like, some people are just gay, some people are just lesbian, some people are bi, some, you know, like some people like both, you know, some people like just one, you know. So I feel like it's a spectrum, and I think it's not okay to make it seem like it's just a monolith and that all, you know, gay people have to act alike. Because even the fact that you said that he says the derogatory F word towards gay people, and the C word, because he says that, maybe because for some, there are some masculine, right, guys who are attracted to men, but they don't want to admit to it, and so they say these things about people in that community because they're ashamed. So he could be saying those things because he's ashamed, because he doesn't want to feel that way about men the way that he does. I feel like him coming to you maybe was about vulnerability, going to someone he felt like he could be vulnerable to, could share like how he feels to, someone he could relate to in some way. So I feel like it could be a mixture of that, just like not fully accepting his identity or what he feels, you know. So I don't know if that made sense. I think it was kind of rude for you to tell him what he's not. You can't tell someone what they're not because it doesn't fit what you experienced or how you see things, right? Because it's a spectrum and he could just be interested in both. So, but let's read one of the comments. You do realize it's possible to be something and hate yourself for it, right? That's what I was saying. That's what I was just saying. That sounds like your brother here. Just because he doesn't express his gayness like you do doesn't mean he couldn't be gay. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Another person put, younger queer person here, sexuality and romantic interests could be separate. I myself am bi-romantic. I fall in love with men and women, but when it comes to sexuality, I'm heterosexual. I only want to have sex with women. Alternatively, someone can like men sexually but not romantically. This is considered normal and accepted in queer communities. Your sexuality and romantic interests can be different. It's quite possible brother is gay on a sexual basis but is not gay on a romantic basis. See, I did not know that. But again, like I said, it's a spectrum. We learn something new every day. But just based off of you and yourself and you alone, or what you've experienced, because it's not okay, because everyone experiences things differently. And like I said, like what this person just said, like maybe he doesn't like that he is. You know, maybe he's not comfortable with, you know, what he's figuring out about himself, and which is why he's coming to you and being vulnerable to you, because he has no one else to be vulnerable about it, like about it. So yeah, I'm sorry guys if I sounded so confusing, because I just feel like I don't want to say the wrong things, because yes, I'm an ally, but I'm not a part of the community, so I feel like I can only give so much, you know. But yeah, let's do my Kosas powder inside. I still love Huda Beauty, bro. Why can I say it? It's around my nose as well. Just the places that get oily. Context here, wife is full-time student. I work full-time. We have an 8-year-old and 2-year-old. My wife is upset with me as I cannot keep our toddler from her while she is studying upstairs in our room. I work 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. I pick up the children from daycare and school, and most nights handle all of the routine, including bedtime, while my wife studies. The issue is that our 2-year-old will scream for mommy. She's creative enough to ask to use the potty upstairs or to get a toy from her room. Once she gets upstairs, she screams and bangs on mom's door until I peel her away. We live in Canada, so taking them outside for hours as a distraction not currently a viable option. The contention comes from the fact that my wife would study at her mom's 5 minutes down the road or remain on campus and study there, but she chooses to always stay at home. I'm stressed with the fact that my toddler will constantly scream for my wife when she knows she's home, but when my wife isn't home, she understands that and is much less fussy. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she needs to study away from the house when she's inaccessible? I need perspective, please. Okay, I'm gonna go off of here before I read the edit, and there's 2 edits. I think the other edit adds more context, and then the edit before is an update. So I will say, I feel like she should be able to study at home if she wants to study at home. But I think if she is going to be annoyed with her toddler, you guys' toddler, bothering her while she's studying, and you have told her that your home is very fussy because she wants you, it would make more sense for her to study at the library or at her mom's house. I feel like there should be a compromise, right? Because I feel like if you're so bothered that your toddler, like, obviously you're willing to work with her, you work and you know she's studying for school, and so you're trying to keep the kids away. And like you said, it's probably, I'm assuming it's like the winter time, it's cold and you can't really take them out to do stuff, so that's why they're home. And it does seem like when it's warmer, you do take them out so that she has the time to study unbothered. You've made that compromise. I feel like she should be understanding, especially because I don't know if you've talked to her about it, but if you have, or if you haven't, you should. But if you have, I feel like she should also be willing to compromise. She should be okay with sometimes studying at the library and sometimes studying at her mom's, who you said was 5 minutes away, and then come back home once she's done studying if it's going to be an issue, right, that you are trying to help her with, which is studying unbothered. So I don't think you're wrong for, you know, feeling the way that you do. I just think it's something that needs to be expressed, and I feel like as a married couple, you guys should be able to compromise, right? Do have baby gates installed in all junctions of the house. So this is edit. The only toilet in our house is upstairs beside the bedroom, and 2-year-old is in the process of potty training. Our house has paper thin walls to the point you could hear a mouse fart upstairs if you're downstairs. The sound of the office chair on the floor while my wife shifts her position can alert the 2-year-old to her presence. My wife does the morning routine with the children, feeds them, does the oldest child's lunch, gets them dropped off at school and daycare. I'm on pickup, evening and night routine. We split nighttime wake up so that's all fair and dandy. My wife also spends the time she can with them, but her program requires a sense of study. What I'm trying to convey is that the demeanor of a 2-year-old is miserable when she knows mom is at home and can't access her. For the most part, I do successfully keep her away from mom, but I also need to be able to access my upstairs as my 8-year-old. The time the 2-year-old does get through and bangs on door screens, and my wife gets very upset and comments it's a parenting skill issue. I would love to be able and take the kids out of the entire evening, but I am doing the cooking, the cleaning, and other associated house tasks for the most part, as my partner's program is essentially demanding. This isn't a complaint about the division of labor. She needs the time to study. However, I cannot be out and about for the entire evening as the household needs maintenance. Again, like I said, I feel like you made a compromise on your end, right, to help her and to help her study and to do your part. I feel like she can make a compromise and decide. And I understand wanting to be in your home and study, you know, without being unbothered, but she can make a compromise if it's that serious. And you've expressed to her, like, the baby is not, like, the baby wants you, the baby knows you're here and the baby wants to be around you, like, and you can't get the baby under control, right? I think it's totally okay for her to compromise, to study somewhere else. Like, she can do a couple of hours of study at her mom's house or in the library and come back when she's done if she wants to be unbothered, right? So I feel like it comes down to compromises. You compromise with her, she can compromise with you. I think it's not that serious, right, for her to decide to study at least some days, right, at the library or mom's house, right, that you said is 5 minutes away. So I feel like she should be willing to compromise. I'll spray, and then I have to do my lip combo. And sliding because my lips are tell. So I want to, and doing it, I could do like my mascara. Guys, this is my final look. Oh my gosh, the red lip is so cute. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to leave a comment down below. Give this a big fat thumbs up and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And I'm a vibe. Join the fam. Okay, comments if you want to see more of these videos, and let me know some video suggestions that you guys want me to see, especially since we're back into doing makeup again. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.